Welcome everyone to the second round recap of the FIDE Candidates 2026. We have the flags of all the players playing at the FIDE Candidates and we are inside the playing hall of the tournament, and I'm going to show you what happened in the second round. Now the day started in the women's section with all players on the same score, while in the open section we had Praggnanandhaa, Caruana and Sindarov in the lead. But it's the women's section where an absolutely incredible game happened. It was the all-Indian clash between Diva Deshmukh and Vaishali, and the game kicked off with a beautiful opening move played by none other than the 5-time world champion and the legend of Indian chess, Vishy. And this is where it happened. Look at that. 2 Indian flags here, and Divya was sitting here, Vaishali was sitting opposite. This is the position. In this position, it's roundabout equal. Look, the white knight is putting pressure here. The black knight is defending it. Black looks a bit passive, but black also has pressure on the a4 pawn. It's somehow not so easy to make progress. Somehow, Vaishali lost her cool and played knight e4. A very suspect move, because Divya could actually take the knight, but Divya kept her cool. She had very little time, but she worked it out that rook takes b7 is winning for her, and she played it with 4 seconds. Now notice that after takes, there is no time to win the knight on c5 and take the rook, because queen takes f7 is a mate, which is the reason why here Vaishali went knight to g5. And now Divya should have kept her cool completely and played the move queen g4, and she would have won the game, because now the queen is hanging, there's no f5, the pawn is pinned, and if you trade, I take and pawn up in this endgame is totally winning. But instead, Divya got a bit tempted by a tactic. She went queen g3, and then
because she had also 54 seconds left, and she had to calculate this natural move.
54 seconds, and so queen g3, and now came rook takes c5. Vaishali was desperate. She found this move, because if you take back, queen takes b7. So check, and now only move king h7, and in came rook b8. And the point is, if you move the queen, rook h8 is a checkmate. Check, king h2, and guys, it's time for you to find the killer blow here. It's not a killer blow, but a saving blow. Vaishali found the absolutely incredible queen takes h3. What a move this is. So beautiful. You have to take, and now the knight jumps in with a check. King g3, and after takes, as it turns out, the game ended in a draw in this rook endgame, and Divya missed a very big chance to get into the lead in the tournament, because all other games in fact ended in draws. There's one game which Amruta, maybe you want to tell the viewers about in the women's section, which was absolutely amazing. Which one was it?
Yes, over here I would like to show you Kateryna Lagno was playing with the white pieces against Zhu Jiner. So this was the position over here where Zhu Jiner made the move queen b4. And this was the move which was a big mistake. She could have simply gone queen g4, challenged this queen when the king is in the center, and she is completely winning over here with 2 pawns up. But she played queen b4 and just missed this blow. Rook takes e6 sack. When the king is in the center, you have to be a bit careful about the perpetual. If you go here, there is check, you take over here. So she went here, check, king goes here, defense rook, check, and that's how perpetual was the defense for Kateryna Lagno.
Draw. That was the result of the game. So Zhu Jiner actually has now missed 2 opportunities here. She was better yesterday against Tan Zhongyi, and today she was better here and she couldn't score wins. There's a game that we want to show of Praggnanandhaa today. Prague was playing against Weiy Yi, and it was on this board Prague played the French defense out of the opening with black pieces, and got a great position. You can see black already is better. There's a lot of pressure on the d4 point. So Weiy Yi said, let me just take here, knight takes c6, queen takes c6, and now the problem is this knight is not well placed. If you want to move the knight away from knight e2 to g1 to f3, c4 traps the bishop. So somehow it was not possible for Weiy Yi to organize himself. So he went bishop e2 with the idea of bishop f3 and then slowly maneuver. And Prague here had an excellent idea, which was also said by his coach R.B. Ramesh, who joined us in the broadcast, which was to play pawn to c4. This is a little bit anti-intuitive because you're closing down the position. But let's say after bishop f3, you go b5. The idea is b4. You go bishop d7, bishop e8, bishop g6, controlling the e4 square. And you have many plans in this position as black. Black is just better. But Prague somehow hesitated. You know, instead of playing c4, he kept things fluid with rook a7, bishop f3, rook f7. And now, as it turned out, Weiy Yi got his opportunity and pushed forward with f5, because now the d5 pawn is super weak. If you take here, I take this, this is a problem. And so Weiy Yi got a lot of counterplay in this position. After f5, Prague had to close down the position, but bishop g5, pressure here. Suddenly Weiy Yi's position pieces were perfectly placed, and Prague had to find this accurate move to keep the balance, and the game ended in a draw. So you could say a small miss for Prague here. With the black pieces, he was already putting pressure right out of the opening.
With also 40 minutes ahead on the clock.
Yeah, he had extra time, but it's possible. You know, such misses are part of your candidate's struggle to reach the top. So Prague keeps his 1.5 out of 2 score. The other game in the open section, which was very interesting, was the game between Hikaru Nakamura and Andrei Esipenko. Hikaru lost his game yesterday to Fabi and today faced Andrei, who was quite inspired. In this position, actually Andrei is trying hard with the white pieces. Hikaru was so accurate. He found the move check, king e3. And now remember, in this position, if you waste time as black, you are lost. If you play a move like rook a2, a6, and white wins, because you go rook a8, sometimes you go a7, sometimes you bring your king in, it's winning. So Hikaru had to be super precise. He had to give another check, attacking this pawn, so you come back, check again, forcing the king away from these 2 pawns, and now only move rook g2. He found it. Andrei gave a check, king went back to, I think, f7, king d4, he took, king e5, he again took, check, king e8, and now I think king e6 was played, king d8, and somehow they reached a position where, you know, Hikaru managed to liquidate and hold the draw. It was not at all an easy defense, but Hikaru found a series of only moves to hold, which is his first half point in this tournament. And Andrei Esipenko, well, he played really well. The game between Anish Giri and Fabiano Caruana ended in a very smooth draw. I think Anish would be happy to be on the scoreboard. Fabi keeps his lead at 1.5 points. And the same about Bluebaum and Sindarov. Bluebaum showing how solid he is. Both the games drawn. He drew with Sindarov with the black pieces in the Petrov. And so right now, this is the scorecard in the open section. We have the same leaders as all 4 games ended in a draw. And in the women's section, we also have all draws, which means all the players are on 1 point. It's going to be very close. As you know, all the players are giving it their all. The third round will happen tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed this recap of the day.
And also tomorrow we'll have Prague versus Sindarov.
Oh, Prague versus Sindarov. Wow, what a game between the 2 youngsters. As Jakhongir Vakhido once said, you know, he's a top Uzbek GM, that Prague versus Sindarov is like the El Clasico. So let's wait for the El Clasico tomorrow. Take care, guys. Bye-bye. This is Sagar Shah and Amruta signing off from the venue of the FIDE Candidates 2026 in Cyprus.
Join us for commentary tomorrow.